A little bit of psychohistory of my life for November 26th, Friday. Look how beautiful it is outside, eh? Hey, what's that down there? That's pretty big. Let's see. See the car behind me? Two beautiful young women, although only one is attractive to my taste, that, I could make love to her in a way that she deserves, And, but that girl is smoking in the car. Now the clothes is in the dryer. Even when it was in the big washers before for a long time there. The engine's running with the window open, smoking. So two pro-death, not pro-life behaviors. And also, throwing a gigantic plastic container of their soap in the garbage instead of recycling it. And people might say, well, that's a lovely woman. There's a problem with you, Martin, for being alone. When, I'd rather date somebody of my own species, an Homo sapien, still in search of the elusive Homo sapien. And people, how dare you? No. You guys are so used to calling yourselves Homo sapiens, although the behaviors don't match for so long now that if somebody's different than you, you'll get away with saying they're not human. So you think I am not human. And of course, I've been saying that I've speciated to the Homo sentient sapien. And that I don't mind being videotaped and questioned and interviewed to demonstrate how I define that using the English language, but mostly by behaviors, right? Role modeling these behaviors of these definitions. Anyways, so there's a Qualicum Beach van. The other day I'm stopping a guy, Qualicum Beach, who's mowing the lawn. I make him come to me on the motorcycle, and he does, and I thank him at the end. We laughed a little bit. We talked about an intersection. I say, hey, what do you think this is? It doesn't say 4 stops. There's 4 stops, but one is like really far from the intersection before a train track. And he said, oh yeah, we've been talking about this for years. You're not the first person I have this conversation with. And it's not even, his regular post to be around that area necessarily, but he's, there's been a lot of conversation. And I say, well, it's an easy problem to solve. It's a, it's a kindergarten level problem. You can either, paint some lines or move the stop sign or put a 3-way stop and make that one a yield, whatever it is. But to make it like that is confusing. It's going to make accidents. Oh, they haven't decided what to do. There's meetings and... Well, that's a developmental disability, okay? And if nobody talks about how people in charge have developmental disabilities, and I'm still in search of the elusive Homo sapien, it's kind of weird. He thought that was funny. What else did we say at the end? I made another joke that was really funny at the end. And I can't remember now, but... it's kind of weird that people still don't deviate, and I've given up officially people trying to become a firefighter, because you are resolved to burn. And by the way, it's painful. I don't know if you know, but melted flesh, it doesn't smell good, and it's very, very painful. But this is what you insist on doing. The last interview I was in had a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of incongruences, and even dishonesty. And it's sad, so I'm going to focus on starting with something like a lifeguard to easily get a job, but to also develop skill sets and confidence to pursue then search and rescue, because I know in BC, for example, that the geologists that are still working for oil and mining and big forest, they're not suddenly going to be paid by these companies that cause these issues to go and study the permafrost melting and high elevations, and where that would go, right? Where that would go when a landslide heavier than a city or a town is buildings actually goes flying in passageways that aren't even seen as passageways, because we haven't studied that from, let's say, the last ice age or something like that. Things that people haven't talked about or seen in tens of thousands of years in documented time. Yet you guys like to be in your little running engines, have a little motor somewhere to keep you warm. So in your brains you remember those times, and yet you are creating things that you do not know how to solve. It's very weird watching you still in search of the elusive Homo sapien. I don't know why they're not outside walking, these girls. It's so beautiful, but this is what they're doing, because we're about to start a second rain storm and get a third one next week. So we'll see what happens. I'll be Silly people primates strike again.